Welcome to Mystery Files, where we take a deep dive into cases that span from the creepy to the truly bizarre and everything in between. I'm Ryan, and today I'll be forcing my colleague Shane to learn all about the elusive Bigfoot.
Oh.
And in the end, you'll have to decide whether the case is solved or if it's simply a mystery.
Bigfoot.
Your brethren.
Love this guy.
We've hunted for him once, unsuccessfully.
Yeah, made some enemies.
Made some friends though. Remember I found that little lizard?
Oh, fuck. That's a salamander.
Does it bite? Look at his beady little eyes.
I know. It looks like you.
It does. We couldn't lure him out with beer. I don't know how that didn't work.
When we were out hunting for Bigfoot, it did feel somehow more futile than even hunting for ghosts.
That's
And I don't believe ghosts are real, and I do believe Bigfoot is plausible.
well, in a world in which they are both real, let's see you occupy that world just very briefly here.
Okay, put it
Ghosts
myself.
are aplenty. Bigfoot, the opposite. Possibly only one.
Maybe, though that would be tough, right?
He would have to be like some sort of eternal being, or maybe like a sea turtle in which
Let's
he could
be
live.
real, he'd be dead by now.
If he was a sea turtle, he could still be alive.
Do sea turtles live a long time? Tortoises, I know.
I believe those live like
They're dry.
200, 300 years or something like that, don't they?
The wet ones?
I'm solely basing that information off of Crush from Finding Nemo, who said he was like 100-something years old.
And he was high as hell. You can't take his
I've never
word.
been so high that I thought I was 100 years old. Well, no. Okay, I had to think about that for a
A
second.
tortoise can live for a couple hundred.
Okay, so we're still within that range. There could just be 1 foot.
I'm excited. Obviously, we've studied Bigfoot before. I was probably not paying a ton of attention back in the day because I didn't give a shit
Back in
then.
the day.
Now I'm ready to relearn this information and maybe
Maybe retain it.
we'll see. I've got a notebook this time.
You do have a notebook this time, and you usually take copious notes. Okay, let's get into Bigfoot, huh?
Okay. That'll be nice for the big guy.
What up, big guy?
Absolutely.
Doing some
Hey,
more research on Bigfoot? Oof.
Well, kind of. I'm doing some research for Bigfoot.
What?
Yeah, I'm worried that once this episode comes out and he starts making a steady paycheck, well, you know, it's going to be hard for him to integrate into the human financial system.
Wait a second. You have evidence of the Bigfoot?
Yes, I have evidence that he's going to be completely confused by the state of modern banking. Big feet use a bartering system, Ryan. You know, shiny rocks, soft pine boughs, etc.
You're joking, right?
Oh my God. Financial progress is no joke, Ryan. And that's why I'm setting our big old pal up with a Chime account. Check it out. See that? Now, Chime has none of those pesky fees that I mentioned before, and it's the #1 most loved banking app.
Showing us the Bigfoot? I can't believe you keep this from me for so long.
Well, it's not a secret. Chime has millions of members and over 1 million 5-star reviews. And they have thousands of customer support agents available 24/7 to help our big guy out whenever things kind of get away from him. You know what I mean?
Well, is there anything else I should know about while we're here?
Let me think about it. How about that Chime just launched the secured Chime Visa credit card? One powerful card that turns everyday spending into real financial progress. Members can start building credit safely and with qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back, and grow their savings 3.75% APY. Think of it, Burgoose. If every burrito you purchased put aside a little money for that new ovilus you've been jonesing for.
A lot of burritos.
That's a lot of burritos.
And fee-free overdrafts up to $200? That could come in handy when I'm feeling a little spooky spendy.
That's right. All right. I got to get out of here, buddy. I'm having brunch with Mothman in 20 minutes. Okay. I got to get going.
Sure thing, man. Would be nice to build my credit some more. I gotta get a new boo buddy since you broke the...
Wait, Mothman?
You can open a Chime account today in just a few minutes using the link in the description. Chime. Apply today and take control of your finances. Triple-decker cinnamon bun French toast Mothman, you dirty dog.
On a bright sunny day in October 1967, 2 former rodeo men went into the woods of Northern California and emerged with perhaps one of the most iconic and recognizable pieces of home video footage in modern history. It's between this and the Zapruder, film. Probably Zapruder is a little bit more significant, but I'd say this is
Historically, yes, I think so.
I mean, unless
This legit.
Unless Bigfoot shot JFK.
That's a good point. What if Bigfoot was in both of them?
Okay, let's see.
Shaky. Steady. Look at that. What is that? Uh-oh. Who's filming me?
Oh,
Now,
it's a beautiful piece of media. Even if it's fake, they really nailed it.
the stabilized footage is even better, but it's better to show you the real thing. But there is a specific gait to the walk. I think it looks pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
Tales of large, hairy, man-like creatures that reside in the woods have captured the imagination of generations for centuries. The mythological figure is surprisingly cross-cultural, even though most sightings of the creature have taken place in North America, and specifically in the Pacific Northwest. The legend of Bigfoot dates back to well before recorded history. The creature's common name, Sasquatch, comes from the Salish Sasquatch, an indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest. And tales of similar creatures have been told among other native groups for centuries. For example, the Algonquin people, who reside in the north-central region of North America, refer to a similar creature as the Witico or Wendigo. Reports over the years and throughout the globe vary, but most claimed the creature to have several of the following attributes. Extremely tall, around 7 to 8 feet in height, and powerfully built. Covered in hair. Has the stature and physical attributes of a human man and stands erect as such, and generally resembles a large upright ape. Now, what do you think about this, Shane?
I've drawn him.
Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, there is
Pretty close.
You could have just looked at this guy, but that's
Yeah,
good.
but
that
I
you-
didn't look at that. I was just hearing what you said.
You're like a sketch artist.
Yeah, pretty good. You want to notice any fine details on it?
Okay.
I gave him a little penis.
I do. I saw that. I saw it. No, I saw
I
it.
do that to all my mystery files. I like to make them anatomical. I don't know why it's funny.
Yeah. 7 to 8 feet, not that. I mean, Victor Wembanyama, 7
Oh,
foot
I knew you were
6.
going to talk about Wemby.
Shaq, 7 foot
Wemby
1.
this, Wemby that.
We should send Victor Wembanyama and Shaq out into the woods to find Bigfoot.
That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Recorded reports of Bigfoot sightings began around the late 1800s and into the 1900s by settlers in North America, who claimed to have found large footprints or actually encountering the creature. The legend then really started to ramp up in 1958, when media outlets picked up a story about a road contractor in Northern California who claimed to have found peculiar footprints by his worksite. The contractor made plaster casts of the large footprints he said he found, the authenticity of which are greatly debated. Since that story was circulated in '59, hundreds of similar footprints and even some handprints have been found and reported by people all over. Many of these prints have been proven fraudulent, and some found to have clearly been made by bears. However, a decade later, that Bigfoot would become one of the most widely recognized cryptids to this day, right next to the Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti, and the Mothman.
Wait, so what year was the Patterson-Gimlin?
1967.
Oh, okay, so I didn't actually know the footprints preceded the footage.
The term Bigfoot was actually coined upon the casting of that
Yeah.
original footprint. They just looked at the foot and was like, that's a Bigfoot.
Right, yeah.
Didn't really do much work there. How old would you estimate that being to be?
Oh, how, like, age of Bigfoot?
In the '67 Patterson-Gimlin footage.
I would say the one in the footage is probably 15.
Yeah, there's kind of a youthful gait to its walk, I suppose.
At least looks like an adolescent.
That's true. Then again, the xenomorph grows into like adult size in like 3 hours.
It's a little quick in the most recent, a little quick.
It's pretty quick. Between organizations like the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, the North American Wood Ape Conservancy, and the Bigfoot Encounters Sighting Database, there are thousands of reported sightings that span from the early 1900s up until the modern day. Among all of these, the Patterson-Gimlin film remains one of the most notorious Bigfoot sightings in history, with many believers clinging to it as definitive proof of the creature's existence. Originally from Yakima County, Washington, cowboys Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson traveled into the Northern California woods in 1967 with one goal in mind: to find Bigfoot. The two rented a Cine Kodak K100 camera from a Yakima camera shop before heading on their mission. According to their reports, they were riding their horses near the banks of Bluff Creek when, as luck would have it, they spotted Patty, around 80 feet away. Yes, that particular Bigfoot was female, now affectionately referred to as Patty. The 59.5-second long video was not the only evidence brought forth from the cowboy duo. They also found footprints of the creature at the Bluff Creek site. Patterson captured both photographs and plaster casts of the tracks, which he used as further evidence. Another interesting aspect of the Patterson-Gimlin film was the oddly apparent sex of the particular Bigfoot they stumbled upon that day. Upon a closer viewing of the film, one may recognize that the creature appears to have rather significant breasts.
You said that in such a delicate way.
Rather significant breasts. Observe.
One must note the presence of some tickled bitties.
Yes, the scientific term, of course. TOBs. In a 2017 CBC interview with Bob Gimlin, he noted that the creature indeed appeared to be female. When the interviewer asked him why he believed this, he replied, quote, "Well, the mammary glands," end quote. Now, many refer to the creature in the film as Patty. Any thoughts on Patty or her bazoingas?
Patty seems nice. It's cool that it's a lady.
Yeah.
Because then that raises the question of baby.
Babies.
Little baby Bigfoot.
You were surprised that the castings of the feet or even just Bigfoot sightings predated this film. Do you think that makes this film more likely to be fraudulent because they were out there looking for a Bigfoot as opposed to two guys getting footage of them like,
we just went out to the woods to kiss and we saw this.
yeah, sure. Why do they have a camera then? But
To kiss and do some other stuff as
some
well.
sort of film. Bigfoot sees these folks, doesn't charge them.
That's alpha shit.
It could have been like, delete that
Bigfoot,
footage, delete
Bigfoot.
that footage, you know, yeah, kind of thing. Like,
You're not legally allowed to film me.
yeah, you got a permit?
I have seen footage though where there's people in jungle and silverbacks will charge you and you basically just have to like
Cover your balls.
prove that you're not afraid. Like, I'm gonna go a little Terry Notary with you right now. He's obviously one of the great monkey actors out there. Does a lot for Planet of the Apes.
Strange
Whatever,
you know that
whatever
offhand.
movie needs a monkey, he's there. So a silverback will often.
So I'm the silverback.
No, I'm the silverback.
Okay.
You're a researcher. You have to act like you're not afraid. And this is what they'll do. They'll go like,
Oh shit! I did a bad job of being not afraid. I just wasn't expecting you to charge.
You ran. So
Well, I didn't realize you were gonna go.
it would kill you. It's kind of like that, and that's good, and that's how you do it.
In author John O'Connor's book, The Secret History of Bigfoot, Field Notes on a North American Monster, he credits the Patterson-Gimlin film with giving Bigfoot its lasting notoriety. He writes that, quote, "If not for the Patterson-Gimlin film, chances are Bigfoot would have faded into history's back pages," end quote. And lasting notoriety it has had, indeed. After the film was released, Bigfoot practically transformed from a mere mythological creature of folklore into a serious topic of debate.
Bigfoot looks beautiful there.
No, he doesn't. That looks like a fucking sleep paralysis demon.
No, that's the most beautiful Bigfoot I've ever seen.
Imagine that face staring at through your window when you're like cooking soup.
I'd be like, hello, who are you? You know?
For Bigfoot? Soup for foot?
Wow,
Look at his eyes.
look at the hair.
Of course, Sasquatch encounters did not stop there. Another piece of possible evidence thrown into the ring came in the form of audio recordings captured in 1972 by reporter Al Berry and his friend Ron Moorhead. While camping in the Sierra Nevada mountains, the pair woke up to an inhuman and bizarre sound they believed could be those of a Bigfoot. Are you ready to hear this recording?
Yeah.
Look at these two guys. First off, before
These
I play
guys look
this,
cool. These guys look cool.
do they look credible? If these two stumbled out of the woods, fucking twigs in their hair, and they're like, I just got the craziest sounds. You gotta listen to this, man. You're believing them?
They look pretty cool. I do believe them.
We're in for a night, Bill.
Yeah. What was that? What was that at the end there? Was that the guys?
I think that was just him stumbling out of his tent. Like, what the fuck was that? Yeah. He claimed that the sounds went on for almost an hour and a half, and that he and Moorhead heard the same sounds again the following night. The now infamous Sierra sounds are admittedly pretty strange, guttural, incomprehensible, and unexpected. Their authenticity is still widely debated, though many believe them to be the most noteworthy audio recordings of what some consider true evidence of Bigfoot's existence. One expert, retired cryptolinguist Scott Nelson, told the Hastings Tribune in 2019 that the sounds recorded by Al Berry could not have been produced by human vocal cords. And to test that theory, we will be conducting an experiment of our own. But before we do that, we do have to get into character and the right state of mind. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom.
I also have to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Do I also go to the bathroom?
You can go first.
We're gonna go to the bathroom together.
Well,
I feel like Bigfoot.
is there something different about you?
So this is supposed to get us in sort of that Bigfoot state of mind.
That's correct.
And we're going to mimic the sounds that are allegedly unable to be uttered by human beings.
That's right. Let me go back and play them for you. Give Bigfoot a second.
Oh, beautiful.
We're in for a night, Bill.
That. Okay, I feel like we can do that.
I think we could do that.
Okay, this is gonna be loud, because you gotta project.
Okay, let's see it.
Well, now that I'm gearing up for it, I'm not sure. Let me try.
Woo!
It just sounded like a person.
Woo! 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 Woo!
The sound is sort of reverberating in this mask and hurting my ears. Start lower and get high, like, no. Now you're just barking.
Fuck. I'll be in my trailer.
No, you're good. That was good. It was good.
I think we got pretty close, honestly. But before we take off these masks, I do want to test one more thing. I want you to try and walk like Patty.
Okay.
Just because if that really is a person in a suit, I want to see if you can replicate the movement. Okay, try though.
Okay, here we go. That's pretty good, right?
No, why are you walking in slow motion?
Well, that's kind of how she did it.
Try speeding it up to normal walking speed.
Well, there's not a lot of real estate here.
Maybe try walking from here to that jacket.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, it's got to be kind of hard to, right? Because a lot of people reference the gait of the walk. Like, watch my body and see if it's
I'm
viable.
watching your body. Yeah, but I think it's the arm swing too.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. They did a good job if they put that guy in a suit. Anyways, we could take these masks off now.
Okay.
This isn't Bigfoot.
So it's damn cool, boy.
And I would have got away with it too. Whew. Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna go get my beanie because my hair is crazy. In addition, Barry also claimed to have found large human-like footprints around their campsite area, which he took photos and impressions of. Believe what you will, but many consider the prints to be even more proof that Sasquatch is real. More recently, in 2019, North Carolina resident and Bigfoot enthusiast Doug Teague recorded a video of what he and others believe could be evidence of Bigfoot in the city of Hickory. The footage is shaky and recorded through a significant amount of greenery, but many consider the video rather peculiar and not really resembling a group of bears or other wild animals one could find in this part of the country. See for yourself.
I want to do a quick little video here. Me and Crazy Daisy has followed these tracks. This is the best one of them. Right here. So another one. Right here. You can see a little bit where he smashed. See the toes. There's toes. This is my shoe prints here, but you can see right there. Rain's messed it up. That's it. That's my shoe print. See right there?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Damn it. I stepped on that one. There. Daisy, don't step. Ah. Damn it, Daisy. Y'all are seeing me move the toe back out. She just stepped on it.
Okay. Well, what do you think about that?
That's how his family responded to him when he showed him the video. Okay. I thought the video was going to be of an actual.
It's just the
so
prints.
I got kind of
it's
excited.
Just the prints. I got excited as
Just
well.
the prints. The prints are cool, easy to fake. Is this guy, do we know, was he like a Bigfoot head?
He was a Bigfoot enthusiast, yes.
Okay, that's not.
That's not great, but it is what it is. Despite heaps of reported sightings and what many believe is ample physical evidence, Bigfoot believers and skeptics continue to debate whether the mysterious creature is real or merely legend. Either way, let's get into the theories. It's corkboard time, everybody.
Yeah.
Come on now, follow along. What do you got here for what Bigfoot is?
As much as I do want Bigfoot to be real and believe that Bigfoot could be real, I do think it's all fake. Though, I do think some of the sounds could be real. I think it's possible a big monkey could be in North America.
All right, theory 1. Human-like peoples. Our first theory is
You got hair on that board?
Yeah.
You got real hair on that thing?
Oh, I got hair everywhere.
Wow.
Our first theory is that witness reports of Bigfoot were indeed authentic, but what some people have seen weren't mysterious creatures at all. Rather, some believe that what have been thought to be Bigfoot sightings are actually sightings of a sparse and secret group of human-like peoples. As we know, stories about forest-dwelling, extremely tall, hairy, man-like creatures have existed for centuries. While true Bigfoot sightings started being recorded around the late 1800s, we know that tales of such creatures began well before recorded history. Some of the oldest known variants of Sasquatch came from various Native American and First Nation peoples, who have passed along such stories for generations. Descriptions of their creatures of legend have often resembled those of Bigfoot or Sasquatch, including reported sightings and descriptions given today. For example, Native American lore in the Pacific Northwest includes tales of a giant ogre covered in fur, known by the name of Zanuqua, which you can see right there. According to legend, the Zanuqua was said to have stolen children and food. In fact, Dr. John A. McClelland of Arizona State University argues that the legend of Zanuqua is where the story of Bigfoot/Sasquatch originated. I love a story of like some sort of creature or monster that steals and kills children.
I do like that. Also, shared myths that like evolve around the world in different cultures. That's neat. That's neat to know that there's something inside people that wants to create these myths. What do they mean to us?
Or they're all the same thing.
Or they're all the same thing, of course.
By the way, in Mexican culture, La Llorona is the person that steals children. Is
She
there
ain't
any?
hairy though.
What is your guys' culture's monster, like Casey Anthony or something? Ted Bundy?
Certainly is a monster. I mean, I'm Polish, German, Slovenian, so there's a bunch of them. Steals children?
Sure, like a cautionary tale to make children behave.
Okay, wait, okay, I'm onto something here. Barboga.
That's awesome.
Holy shit, Barboga looks cool.
Could I see Barboga?
Roughly translates to old lady with horns.
Dude!
Check this lady out.
Oh, damn!
I'm getting a Barboga tattoo.
It's like an ogre/troll kind of situation with a unicorn horn.
Barboga is a Serbian monstrosity.
Damn.
It is said to be an ugly old woman who stalks the night looking for ill-mannered children. She takes them to her cave in a bag and she eats them. I love Barboga.
I love tales that traumatize children.
She reaches out and snatches them through the cracks in the ceiling.
Interesting. Based on that picture, Barboga does not look that nimble.
You don't know what Barboga can do.
I think she's crashing through that wall like the Kool-Aid Man. But what is
Barboga!
No, Mama! Not the bag. Okay, moving on to theory 2. Unknown primate species.
Is that my boy Chucky D? It's my boy Chucky.
Oh, yes, it is. I thought you were talking about this monkey.
No, that's not my boy Chucky D. I don't know who that boy is.
One of the leading theories of the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization is that Bigfoot is real and is in fact a type of unknown primate species. According to their theory, proof of Bigfoot is actually evidence of the presence of a real animal, likely a primate, that exists today in low population densities that has not yet been identified by any zoologist or biologist. According to the BFRO, this theory would indicate that the animal evolved alongside humans and became astonishingly adept at avoiding contact with the human race, likely through a process of natural selection, like our boy Chucky D over there.
Very plausible.
Just a big monkey.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it would be anyway, right?
I am not as sure about this one because I feel like even if it is in low population densities, you still would probably see more of him. He's been on the scene for a while. We've been on the lookout. There's shows about him on Discovery Channel.
Yeah, but they've also had that thing of like coelacanths or like certain fish that go extinct and then they're gone. And then like 30 years later, they'll be like, oh, never mind, we found one.
I just feel like with all the modern tech that we have now, it'll be kind of hard for them to continue to be so elusive.
If an ape has it in it to be sort of reclusive,
yes,
then I could see an ape being intelligent enough to sort of maintain that.
Maybe you're right. I find it less likely.
Yeah.
Which is why we have theory 3 and 4.
Okay.
Theory 3, Bigfoot is not real, and all evidence was a hoax. For many Bigfooters, as believers are often called, the Patterson-Gimlin footage is considered concrete proof that the creature exists. For others, the film is nothing but an obvious hoax. Many, including Cal Alcorf and Michaela Kosis of the Skeptical Inquirer, something I'm sure you subscribe to.
That sounds cool.
They point to several examples of what they consider to be definitive proof that Bigfoot is not real. A leading theory suggests that the Patterson-Gimlin film was simply faked, with one of the men or somebody else wearing a gorilla costume and strutting for the camera. In fact, in 2005, a man named Bob Hieronymus, who you could see right here, appeared on the National Geographic Channel, where he claimed to have been the person dressed up as Bigfoot in the film. Hieronymus recalled being friends with Patterson while living in Yakima in the 1960s, and accompanying the filmmaking duo in 1967 on their trip to California, along with a gorilla costume. According to Hieronymus, he put the gorilla suit into his mother's car once he returned home. 10 years later, Hieronymus' story was seemingly supported by famed movie costumer Philip Morris, who in 2015 claimed to have made the gorilla costume used in the film. He stated that back in 1967, Roger Patterson directly told him about the film he was making and asked to borrow a gorilla suit. In addition to Morris, various members of Hieronymus' family have also corroborated his account. His mother and nephew both reported finding the costume in the car after he returned from California. And his brother stated that Patterson once actually asked him if he thought Hieronymus would be interested in playing the part of Bigfoot. Some even argue that you can see an odd light reflected off of one of Patty's eyes in the film, which many believe was due to the fact that Bob Hieronymus actually had a prosthetic glass eyeball.
Whoa, have you noticed that?
No. I mean, it's like, how am I gonna be like, there's a glint right there?
I mean, well, clearly people have maybe seen it.
Maybe, yeah. But I'm interested in the gait of the walk, as I really did want to see how you strut.
Yeah.
With the suit.
I did do a pretty good job. I mean, all this stuff about the costumes is very compelling.
But corroborated by this guy's family, though.
Family and a costumer.
Yes. Good way to get your costuming expertise and, I made Bigfoot. I tricked everybody. Yeah. That's how good my costuming is. The reason why I was so interested in seeing you walk is because you're 8 inches off a low-end Bigfoot.
Oh, cool.
Your structure would be somewhat similar to a Bigfoot, and if you walked in the suit, maybe if anybody's gonna recreate it, it would be you.
Yeah, maybe.
And I do think you were giving it your all.
Him with that monkey head, is that what he claims to be the original?
Yes.
Oh.
Pretty good looking monkey head.
I think he should do the walk.
Yeah.
If he's really trying to convince us, like, put it on, do the damn thing.
That's right, walk the walk, Bob.
How old is Bob?
He looks like he's a little long in the tooth in this picture, I will say.
What do Bob's mammary glands look like?
I haven't seen Bob's breasts.
Okay, so you got that dump truck Bigfoot ass?
Bigfoot researchers and enthusiasts still posit several issues with some of these arguments. Jeffrey Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology, argues that many attempts to recreate the Patterson-Gimlin film haven't been able to properly replicate the exact look of the creature on camera. Many also doubt the authenticity of the alleged Bigfoot tracks Patterson cast in plaster at the time the film was created. According to one article, some eyewitness accounts who knew Patterson claimed that it was clear the man had fabricated the prints himself. One acquaintance said that Patterson came into his shop, asking if the plaster cast footprints looked real. When he responded saying they did not look real, Patterson went back to fix them and came back with a more realistic looking version. Despite this account, some experts still think the track prints should be not so easily dismissed. Sasquatch researcher and co-host of Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot, Cliff Barackman, notes that the Patterson casts have several notable variants from the many confirmed fake prints he has seen throughout his career. For example, Barackman points to a significant flexibility in the foot noticeable in the prints, which he says is reflected in the film footage of the creature walking. He argues that such flexibility is distinctive and unique, and a characteristic Bigfoot researchers have been preoccupied with for years.
Okay, so the foot thing is referring to, I guess, like the break.
Yeah, like,
right?
you know, like the flexibility, like the arch of the foot.
Like in the footage, you're seeing the foot sort of like almost as if there are muscles in it.
And the track impression suggests that there is a flexibility there.
Could they fake that in a track, I wonder?
Yes, but then we're talking about two dudes who went into the forest thinking about anatomical structure and how it would be represented in footprints, plus also reflecting that in the footage. That feels like a lot to me, but you know, it's possible. I'm not gonna doubt the intelligence of these two gentlemen.
They're obsessed.
Yeah, you know, maybe. Is it more likely that two guys were smart enough to figure out how to hoax that, or is it more likely that there's a Bigfoot walking? Probably the former.
Yeah, probably.
Whether the alleged footprint was real or not, Dr. John A. McClelland of Arizona State University says that the cast is an important historical artifact either way, due to the fact that it was obtained, quote, during the heyday of the Bigfoot phenomenon, end quote. It belongs in a museum either way.
Did they have any tracks in the museum when we went there?
They had a bunch of them.
I'd like to go back there.
You would?
I mean, for the show. I don't want to go there for my free time.
I don't know if you remember, that Bigfoot burger was huge.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had that.
I did.
You almost passed out.
I'm still digesting it. All right, moving on to theory number 4. Bigfoot's real. There it is. Despite many believing any track prints or videos have never been real, some Bigfoot experts and enthusiasts still stand by their possible authenticity. The Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization does acknowledge that to many, any evidence of Bigfoot's existence merely points to a cultural phenomenon, quote, kept alive today through a combination of the misidentification of known animals, wishful thinking, and the deliberate fabrication of evidence, end quote. But that certainly isn't what the organization believes, along with many Bigfooters worldwide. That's why our final theory is exactly that Bigfoot is real, an extremely tall, upright, mysterious creature covered in fur that only a small percentage of the world's population has ever actually laid their own eyes on. The rest of this theory is mine. I actually do believe theory 4 if it's up to me, and I do believe it because I do think it's a singular being. And I wonder why that is not the common thought among cryptozoologists, because when you think of something like Nessie or, you know, Mothman, we're not like, there must be a species of Mothmen.
Well, I don't think you can group Mothman in. Stuff like Nessie and Bigfoot, they're animal-like in nature. Mothman's just like nonsense.
Okay, well, Nessie.
They would have to be like the last of their kind.
And that wouldn't make any sense because you would have probably seen it sometime within the last 1,000 years.
It feels like all logic would tell you that Bigfoot is not real and that Nessie's not real. I want Bigfoot to be real. I really do.
I do. I want him to be some sort of like evolutionary anomaly that happened in the last century, and he's just like, hey, I'm here, and you're not gonna fucking find me.
Even if it's just like eventually they find some monkeys up in the Pacific Northwest, and they're like, we didn't know these monkeys were here.
Yeah.
The sounds I'm a little more compelled by, though, you know, sounds can be a lot of things. Were we ghost hunting when we heard a fox scream in like New York or something?
Something like that. That's what you thought.
Sounded crazy. Like sometimes owls will do this mating call where it's this deep guttural like, ooh, and it sounds so scary in the woods at night. But that's an owl. You just wouldn't know that because you're usually used to them going, ooh.
That's fair.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to go with a combo of theories 2 and 3.
Also, you do think it's possible that he could be some sort of
I do, though, like you
species.
said, it would be crazy that they wouldn't be able to spot them at this point? I mean, they
Running
find
out.
a lot of species still, like a surprising amount. It's crazy. I think a lot of them are like bugs.
I was gonna say, what percentage of those are very tiny or in the
It's
ocean?
like bugs, it's fish, it's frogs.
Let's find out if Bigfoot is confirmed to be real or fake.
What?
So, whether Bigfoot is an unknown animal species, an elusive nation of people, a true mystical creature, or simply an elaborate hoax, one thing remains true. That image of Bigfoot looking right at the camera from 1967 continues to be a symbol of the Pacific Northwest, adventure, and the great unknown. And until proven otherwise, the legend of Bigfoot will remain a mystery.
I love it. I like that.
What an upset.
Yeah. How come Bob ain't gonna do the walk for
Do
us?
the walk, Bob.
Bob, put on the monkey suit and do a little walk for us.
I can't believe no one's made him do the walk.
Do the walk, Bob. Well, thank you, Ryan. This has been fun.
You're welcome.
Should we put on our costumes and,
Go to Hollywood Boulevard?
yeah,
Maybe hit up Shake Shack or something?
that sounds fun.
okay.
You can open a Chime account today in just a few minutes using the link in the description. Chime, apply today and take control of your finances.
You gonna fix that leak?
The hole?
He had a fucking giant ass hole in the
That's
roof.
an intentional hole. Do you think they just did that on accident?
Maybe they just ran out of materials. Why is it there?
I don't know. I'm not a dome architect.
Is that how they snuck in?
No.
Oh, okay.
You gotta just chill out, man.
I can't chill out.